Hey everybody, coming at you with another exciting video with Nick.
Ew.
What we're going to do today was an unplanned video. Everybody knows that I have a video list of things I want to do, but for some reason this morning I just kind of woke up inspired to do a video. It just kind of hit me about doing ferro rod fires with minimalist tools. So what we're going to do is I'm planning on doing 4 different ferro rod fires. And the idea behind using a ferro rod is getting the fire started is key. And once you've got the fire going, it's in the baby stage. And you want that fire to grow. Then once it grows, you just throw whatever on it and you don't have no problem in the world. So what I have brought is I have brought a little bag of tricks here. And we're going to set it on the ground, look at it, and I'm going to explain about what 4 fires I'm going to do and the minimalist tools that I'm going to use to do them. Alright? Anything you want to add?
No. In response to what he said, I woke up ready to film this morning.
He woke up ready to film. He drank a half a pot of coffee, he's fired up and ready to go. Ain't you, Nick?
Yeah. Well, maybe I haven't had enough coffee yet, but
well, we'll drink more when
maybe
we
we'll make some out here.
Yeah, we'll make some out. We're going to have plenty of fire. Did you bring a percolator?
Oops.
I guess not. Alright, let's get the show on the road.
These gloves off first. I'll need them later for all my shopping.
Now, I thought about the idea of the minimalist tool thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plan on starting a fire with a ferro rod. I brought a couple of ferro rods. I brought a couple of these big ferro rods because I've grown very fond of them. I really like these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a fire with a ferro rod and a machete. Now I brought a machete, 2 different ones, just whichever one I feel like to use. And I'm going to start have one with a ferro rod and a machete only.
Sure you don't want to use 2 sticks?
No, not
Rub
today.
2 sticks together?
Ferro rod video. And then I'm going to have one with and I brought 2 different knives, just whichever one I decide to use. A ferro rod and a knife only. And then I'm going to do one, I brought 2 different axes, I'm not real sure which one I want to use. A ferro rod and an axe. And then the final one, which is going to be interesting, is going to be a ferro rod and a saw only. Okay? Now like I said, once you got the fire going, it's not that big of a deal, but actually getting the fire started is what is a big deal with the ferro rod and what tool you choose to carry. Now normally I will carry a machete and a knife and a saw, or I'll carry an axe and a knife and a saw. But if you've just got 1 tool each, it makes it a little more challenging. So we're going to try that. We're going to wander out there. So what I'm going to do right off the bat is we're going to leave everything right here, and I'm just going to start out with a machete. No knife. I ain't even going to bring the sheath. I'm going to bring a ferro rod and a machete, and let's go out and see if we can start a fire this way. Alright? You ready to go, Nick?
Oh yeah.
Alright, sounds good to me, man.
Now sure there's not a percolator in there?
No,
I really want some coffee.
There's no percolator in here. Alright, well let's get going.
Alright.
Alright, now this log is still here. This is a cedar tree that had fallen over, and I knew about it. It's been here for several years, and somebody has cut a section out of it. And I don't know why. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get a fire started out of nothing but this tree. So what I'm going to do right off the bat is I'm going to take a couple of these limbs off right here. I'll take this off right here. I'm going to take that limb off and a vine that's with it. I'll set that there. Now let's set it right here. Let's see. Then there's more of a vine. Get some of these vines out of here. Let me get over here. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to wad that all up. Plenty of vines right here to use. And I'm going to set this with this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to actually find our tinder. We're going to have to get you down here real low so that you can see it. What we're going to do is we're going to move the camera down here. So let's cut this off and take a look right here, Nick. Trees like this, if it hasn't rained in like a week, what you want to do is you can get the bark if there's any bark left off the top. But if it's rained recently, what you want to do is you want to try to get the bark off the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to peel this bark off right here as much as possible. Now I'm looking at this bark now and I can tell it's obviously very dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this stuff up. I'm going to peel off as much bark as I can. This thin fibrous stuff right here. That's really good tinder right there. And whatever's not all fluffy, you can rough it up once you get to where you're going to start a fire. Well, as a matter of fact, we could start a fire right here real quick because I've got the other stuff right there. Have you got me in shot right here, Nick?
Yep.
Okay. Let's just start right here. Now I'm going to lay the tinder right there. Let's get rid of some of this dust here. Get down the mud. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to prepare some of this stuff. The thinnest stuff, I'm just going to break it up and I'm going to put it right here. Plenty of materials around here. And some of the bigger stuff I'm going to put on this side because that's what you'll put on after you've gotten it started. Let's see. Get some of this stuff here because this is really dry. That stuff that I broke off the tree. All right, we got plenty of small stuff right here. All right, we good to go, Nick? You can see me good?
Yep.
All right, so what we're going to do now, I didn't even have to use the machete much. Very, very little. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rough this stuff up a little bit. I'm going to spread the fibers out. Cedar bark is just excellent. And I'm going to set that right there. And then I'm going to take this. And then I'm going to rough this up real good. Fluff it up real good. Alright. So let's get the ferro rod out now. Let's see if this will take a spark. And there you go.
That was quick.
It was quick. Give it another one. This may have some moisture in it.
Yeah, throw a leaf on it. Looks like it's burning too quick.
I don't know. I think it's got moisture in it. I may have to blow on it. That's what you do with less than optimal tinder. And you just keep blowing and adding. That leaf right there. And setting this on top. And it'll get going. And now, see, now you can quit blowing on it. Now it's going to kind of go. And so that's what you got to do. Don't give up on it whenever you're doing this kind of stuff. Keep blowing and keep turning the tinder. Keep turning it like that. And see, now it's going on its own, and I don't have to blow anymore. And then you'll just start putting these. And all this stuff is going to catch on fire right here now. Now see, that right there, I got to say, is a pretty sustainable fire right there that I've got going.
Especially if it catches the leaves next to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing, just because, that is something that I wanted to show you right there, because while I was sparking on it, it wasn't catching. But if you can get the sparks on this thing, you're good to go. And see, now all I got to do is add some stuff right here, and you can obviously see that thing's going, and I can just start breaking up. I mean, there's tons of this stuff around everywhere. A lot of people say they don't have luck with cedar bark, but basically that is how it's done. All right. Sound good?
Yep.
All right. I didn't even use the machete much, but I'm just trying to show the different techniques with this. So that's pretty much a sustainable fire now. I can just keep throwing things on it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stomp that out and we're gonna move on to the next one, which I think, let's look at my list. The next one is gonna be a knife and a ferro rod. All right, so I'm gonna stomp this out and we'll go get the knife and we will go. And as you can see, it's still going. That is a sustainable fire, and all it took is a little bit of cedar bark. All right. Anything you want to add, Nick?
No.
Now, see, that was almost too easy, wasn't it?
Yeah. Although, like I said, hey, if the fire's too small for you, you can just let it get some of these leaves around it, and you'll be plenty warm for days to come.
That's right.
So will everything else in the forest.
That's right. All right, let me go get the knife. All right, on the next one, what I got is a knife only. All right, and what I'm looking for now is I'm looking for something that I'm gonna make the old tried and true feather stick. Something good you can do with a knife. Now I'm looking for a piece of wood, and I looked around everywhere, and I found one right here that's dead and off the ground. All right, so what I'm gonna do with this, make sure that it's dry, but not rotten, and I wanna make sure that it'll carve. Yeah, that'll carve instead of just turning into rot. So what I'm gonna do with it is I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna make a weak spot in it here where I want to break it. All right, there's one piece, and then I'm gonna make a spot in it right here. Break it, make a spot here. All right, there's a little more on this. Make it. All right, now I'm gonna throw this to the side. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna work with these three right here. Hopefully they'll do something for us. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna ease the camera down right here to where this piece of wood is. And we're going to process these up for a fire, or yeah, we'll do it right here. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use it. How tough is that? Yeah, I'll use that. There's another piece of wood right there that I can use. All right, so let's get you down low where you can see what we're doing. We've got our three pieces that I cut and broke. Okay, good pieces of wood. So what we're going to do here now is I'm going to trim a little flat piece here. This piece of wood so I can have a decent place to work. I'm going to put a little notch in it. Just a little notch to keep it from slipping. Because these things are pointy on the end. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to baton down the middle. Alright, I got that one batoned. I'm going to baton this one down the middle. Some people don't like batoning, but sometimes it's necessary. Not to mention it's fun. Alright, so let's baton those. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the one that has the least amount of knots to make the feather stick. Which is going to be this one. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try to make a feather stick. Now there's a knot right there. You have to get past the bark to make a decent feather stick. Now I'm going to save all these curls here. The curls that wind up not attached. But you want as many attached as possible. But if they don't stay attached, you can still use them. This is how you make a sustainable fire, especially in wet conditions. You want to do the full length of the stick, but if there's knots in the wood, you're just going to have to do what you have to do. I say I'm losing a lot of curls off of this thing. I say I just broke it. So now let's try to go with this. So what I'm going to do, let me move all these. Can you see okay right here now?
Yep.
Alright, move some of this duff out of the way. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and lay this right here. Get rid of these. I'm going to put some of these curls over here so that I can lay it on it. So that I'll have some nice dry wood to put on it. Now I'm going to go ahead and baton this so that I've got some thinner pieces. This stuff isn't batoning very well, but not all wood is good for batoning.
Knot down there.
Yeah.
Big knot.
Yeah, knots are never good. No. Yeah, that's about batoned all up. Well, let's just see if I can get it started with that one. Let's try one more while we're here. See if I have more luck out of this. Just remember, in your years of batoning and feather stitching, all wood is not the same. Oh no, I knocked a bunch of them everywhere. That's what you want right there, is a razor sharp edge, because that right there is what I'll lay over it. The little razor sharp slivers are good. Now there's plenty of material around here, but I'm trying to show how you can get it out of one. Alright, I think that's enough right there. I think we should be able to do it with this. Hopefully. Alright, see what we can do here now. Alright. Can you see that pretty good right there, Nick?
Yep.
Alright, see what we'll do. Dang, I had it. There it is. There it is. There it is. Now see, what you do right here is you put these little curls on as soon as possible. You lay these sharp edges on as soon as possible.
I don't know what wood that was, but it's got a good smell to it.
I think it's oak. See these little tiny pieces I'm putting on there? See these razor sharp edges. Now see, now you're at the point, and you want to just put these sharp edges on. See, now you're at the point to where it's a reasonably... Oh no! I just knocked it everywhere.
Oh, come on. Now we're going to be cold tonight.
Well, anyway, that's the basic idea. You may have to blow on it some. Now I probably didn't do enough tinder. Now see, it's safe to say that right there is a reasonably sustained fire. And what you should do is put all this stuff on it like this. Now let's see if the flames stay for a little while, because if the flames stay for a little while, that is a sustainable fire. And see, all the sharp edges from batoning is what is keeping it going. And that's it. We'll watch it for just a second. I'll blow on it a couple more times. And so we've got plenty of flames on there, and it's catching all these sharp sticks on fire. All right, I could blow on that all day. So you ready to move on to the next one?
Yep.
Let's see. And the more you baton, the more sharp edges you have, the better off you are. Okay, the next one, let's take an axe and see what it'll do. All right. So that took care of a ferro rod and a knife. So ease down here real quick. You still got some flames right here. See right there? Well, there's flames here, 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 here. So that's a very sustainable fire. There is nothing to it. See spot run.
What?
See spot run. All
Okay
right.
then.
Not much beats feather sticks. All right, let's ease on. Let's go get an axe and see what we can do with an axe.
That'll be fun.
That was fun, wasn't it? Right. Next one is going to be with an axe. Now with the axe, I chose to try to find some fatwood. And this is literally a find of a lifetime, because a lot of times you have to find a tree that's been dead and rotten for a while. But as you can see, this tree here, when it fell over, it literally pulled the roots up out of the ground. And I can see right here, and I can smell the fatwood, and I can even see the fatwood right here. See that orange color right there? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to butcher some of that. So let me put some of this in my pocket here. Now I'm gonna try to harvest some of this. See what we can do here. Figure I'll harvest it as much as I can while it's still attached. That's breaking right at the fatwood. See that deep orange color right there?
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a piece over there. I'm gonna save this. I may even take that home with me. There's a piece right here. Here, bring the camera over here so you can see how I remove this. All right, now you can see this part right here. I'm slowly trimming away. Now what I'm gonna try to do, trying to get at it. Now you can see the orange streak in there. Oh, smell it, Nick? Smell.
Oh yeah, yeah.
See? Smells like pine saw. That's what we want to use right there. Now I'm gonna try to start a fire with this, and then I'm gonna take this home and I'm gonna carve that up for my kit. So now let's find some hardwood that we can split up for this fire. What I've decided is I'm going to take both those pieces home, because under further investigation I'm seeing that there's more pieces in here which I won't even have to prepare for striking with a ferro rod, because I'm thinning them out now. Now see, you don't want to lose that. That is just golden. That is excellent. That is rich Georgia fatwood. I'm making a mess out of a lot of it. I'm gonna stick it somewhere. Now, if this don't work, I've got the other that I can work with, but we're gonna try to start a fire with that. I'm gonna carry this with me because I want to keep it. All right, let's go over here and find some hardwood. All right, we got our fatwood, and it's sitting there on the ground gently where it's safe. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna chop this piece of wood up for a little bit of kindling for getting our fire going. All right.
Hey, did you hear that plane?
Yeah, I did.
Rescue.
Rescue.
SOS. Get the mirror out. Shine the light at him.
Let's see. sit right here.
The log you're on's pretty dead too. I'll turn some flames off.
Alright, what we're going to do is process this up. Dang.
Eventually.
There it goes. Alright, now, we got one more here. See if we can split this up.
It's already pretty split.
It is. That's
It's handy.
to an advantage. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to bury this axe in this tree. Let's try to process up a piece further. This is pretty rotten wood. I don't even know if this is going to work or not.
A bunch of little slivers.
Yeah. Maybe a bad choice of wood.
I can find if little slivers are better.
Well, it worked last time, so what I'm going to do is all these little slivers, I'm going to gather all them up.
Sure, those will light nicely. Especially being how dead it is.
Now that's working better. See, this is how you can get by with you can split wood with an axe, but you can't do real fine shavings with an axe. So I'm saving all this small stuff here. Gotta watch your face around here. Where'd it go? Use this. Nope. I ain't gonna be able to get that one. Let's try this one. I got that one. See if I can do that one again. Yep. Now see, all these little sharp edges are going to catch on fire real quick. It's another good technique for if everything is wet.
Or if you want to make toothpicks.
Yeah. If you
Making
wanna
these pretty
toothpicks.
small.
Oh no, I just knocked my stuff everywhere.
Oh no, one of them flew at me.
Usually the best batons have a knot in them because that way they won't explode.
Some of the slivers keep flying towards me.
Alright, I think this is about enough. You get the basic idea.
Like
Yeah,
that.
that one ain't going to.
Flew way over here.
Alright, let's just go with this. I'm going to leave this stuff setting up on this thing here. And let's take this piece of wood. Alright, let's bring the camera down low so you can see what I'm doing. The little piece is sitting up here on this log, and then I've got my fat wood laid on top of this other one. The pieces I trimmed off, because these two large pieces, I want to take them home. Because you don't always run into fat wood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this here. Kind of beat that into the ground. Now what I'm going to do, let's get rid of these. I think I have more than enough for a sustainable fire. So let's try this stuff here. Now this feels kind of damp, but I'm hoping it's going to take a spark anyway.
Smoking at least.
Alright. This ain't working like I thought.
Stick a piece of pine straw in there. Stick a piece of pine straw in there.
Let's
That
spread
might,
these slivers out a little
give
bit.
it a little boost.
A boost.
Yeah, a little boost.
Yeah, this stuff's saturated. Usually when it's wet, it still lights though.
Just takes longer.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes a lot of sparks to dry it out. Just knocked it everywhere.
Come on, I'm getting hypothermia over here. Oh.
I should never have this much trouble out of fat wood. I got some embers here.
I don't know if you can see that from here.
Oh, I can't believe fat wood failed me. Man, that is a shock. Well, we'll do next little trick. We'll put some pine straw on, or some leaves. Dang, I can't believe that. That goes to show you that it's not always a sure thing. But, like Nick and I are known for, we don't fake stuff. We do it, we show it like it happens. These things happen.
Sometimes we're warm, sometimes we're freezing.
Yep. Yeah.
Sometimes we forget. What was the word for it? I'll remember eventually. Percolator, that's what it was. Sometimes we forget our percolator. That's a really bad day.
Alright, looks like we're going to go to plan B.
Yikes.
Alright. This ain't going to work. That is not going to take a spark. Let's see if this other piece will carve up. That's not much of a carving. We'll see what it does. It's glowing, it's smoking. Now there, finally. Finally. Now all I got to do is hold this other piece over it. And if I can get this to take a flame, we'll be good to go. Now that's glowing.
Bad blowing a little bit.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to really feather that thing up.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to feather it up real good. Now it's glowing.
So it seems that it's pretty dry on the outside, but
Yeah.
it's
Let
really
me just
moist on
feather
the
it
inside
up.
actually.
Alright, I'm always getting impatient with this fat wood, and what I've done is I've carved it up. And that's probably what I should have done to begin with. So let's set it over here and see what we can do now. And I think this other fat wood, I didn't know fat wood could be this wet. Alright, there you go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to hold this stuff. I'm about to take the other fat wood home and let it dry. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that's going to be like, oh, that was easy. Shouldn't have took that longer, that much ferro rod. Well, that's reality. That's what makes this stuff real.
How finicky that's being. Throw some leaves on it. Go crazy.
Well, I'm trying to do it with everything that I procured with the axe. And see, when I'm holding these pieces that are dry and square like this, they're catching on a lot better.
Knock some leaves off a tree with an axe, and there you go.
Yeah, I probably could have.
Hey, you procured it with an axe. So.
Now that should catch on in a minute.
Barely.
You just got to be real careful when you put everything together. I got some of this fat wood. I think this fat wood needs to dry out.
Oh, definitely.
I'm going to see if this will catch on. Sometimes Fatwood will catch a flame better than a spark. And this may not be good quality Fatwood. See, that's not even catching a flame hardly. And that's orange. I don't know what the deal is with this. But that one piece, I managed to get it going. You can see how it's actually flaming up now. Them pieces there I'm going to take home and I'm going to dry up. Now see, this is more than a sustainable fire now. All you got to do is just keep adding pieces like this. I didn't even have to blow on it much. Alright, I had a lot of success with the first two fires, but this one was kind of rough. But, you know, like I said, I don't edit nothing out. I mean, this is real life. This is the way it is. Alright, Nick, you ready for the final fire?
Yep.
Alright.
It's going to be the most interesting. How are you going to do this with a saw?
You'll see. It's going to be very interesting. Alright, one more shot on that. You can see that's plenty of sustainable fire now.
Oh yeah.
Nothing to worry about.
As long as you don't touch it.
Yeah. Well, you can just, once it gets going good, you can just start stacking all this other stuff on top of it, like this right here. You see, I got plenty of little pieces up here that I can put on it. Then I can put that on it, and we'll be good to go. Ain't that neat? Get my axe off of there. Alrighty.
Smells good too.
Yeah, it does. You can smell the pine sap burning now. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Anyway, let's move it on to the next one. Hopefully I have success with it. We have a folding saw. And this is one that Nick was wondering about. Right? How are we going to do it with a folding saw and a ferro rod? Alright, let's take a look right here at this piece of wood. Let's take and cut. A piece of wood's laying on the ground. I'm just going to take a wild guess. Saw it right here. That's good, the wood's not rotten. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the natural split in it. So we're going to saw it right here. Alright, then what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to hit it against the tree. Right here. And it didn't work.
Good job. Gold star.
It didn't work. Well, let's try it again. Right where the split is. Didn't work again.
Try sawing a little further into it. Might have to go past the split.
I don't know.
Try going past the split.
Didn't work. Well, let's try plan B. It's supposed to break and leave half the log. Sometimes it does. So let's do this.
Well, at least we have two good fires and two really hard fires.
Yeah. Things don't always work out like they're supposed to. Nope.
Have to get a little more of a wedge.
Let's just try to beat it against the tree. How about that?
Whoop.
No. What's cracking? Now part of it came
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, let's try that. Part of it came off, so let's try this. All right, let's get that down on the ground where you can see what we're doing. Can you see from there?
Yeah.
All right. What I'm gonna do I'm going to create some dust. Now I'm losing most of the dust, which ain't good. I don't want to do that.
Try cutting a little funnel in there and then shaving it down like so.
I'm trying to get the shavings in here.
Like cut a V in the log.
Alright, now let's do this. Let's take some of this that I have dumped out. Should have covered it in leaves better. So I've got all these shavings right here. That I'm trying to get back on this log. That's quite a bit of shavings. Some of them landed on these wet leaves. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and gather up some dry material so that it'll catch a hold of that. What we're going to do is we're going to try to spark the shavings right here. What we're going to do now is I got this tree up here and I've got some more branches, some vines, and anything that I can break off by hand, I'm going to break off by hand. So I'm getting a whole handful of this kind of stuff, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it all in my pocket. Anything that breaks off I know is dead and dry. So that way I'll know I'll have some material to go on top of my shavings. See, this stuff is just breaking so easy. Love these vines. There's not much grass out here in the woodlands, but this stuff here is just fantastic. See right here, that stuff will catch on good. And it's up here where the sun has been hitting it, and it's nice and dry. Now that's borderline too thick. I'm wanting to grab all this real thin stuff here. The thicker stuff I can put on later. See, there's some more. And see, I got at the core of that wood, so since I got into the core of the wood, the sawdust should be good and dry. All right, so let's go back.
Fatwood, that is.
I couldn't believe the Fatwood was that moist. It must have not been a real rich Fatwood. Fatwood's got to be really, really, really old for it to be high quality, and that was obviously not old enough. I'm sure you'll experience it at some time. I've got some good Fatwood at home. All right, let's go strike this off and get it going. Digging all this stuff out of my pocket here, and I'm going to set it over here, right where I can get at it. Try not to disturb my dust too bad. I think I got about everything out of my pocket. All right, so now I've got this nice dry dust, and I have sawed slots in here, so once I get it going, it's going to burn into that wood. Now I'm not going to worry about getting any more substantial wood for this. I'm just going to try to get it to where it'll go on its own. Now the wind's blowing on it.
Helps for the fire, but not the sawdust. Trying to keep that there.
There you go. There you are. Now I'm knocking this stuff everywhere. Now I kind of made a mess out of this, but you get the idea. All I got to do now is keep adding little sticks. And I've got plenty of flame here. This will be a substantial fire now, which I didn't have enough ready, but I'm not worried about it. Now I've already burnt through all my stuff, but you get the idea. I burnt through all the small stuff, But that's how you get it going. So, no reason to keep on going because we're done out of time now, but that was it. You seen how I had the flames? And you just keep, you really needed a wad of vines about that big, but we're not keeping these fires going, so it's no big deal to keep it going. But I had flame, no big deal. That's what you want to do. Still smoldering now. Now I've done burnt up all my stuff, all my small stuff. That went out. Anyway, I could have kept that thing going, but like I said, it's no big deal. So anyway, that's how you can do it with one tool per fire. All right. Anything you want to add, Nick?
Don't make a fire on a hill like we did.
Yeah, don't make a fire on the hill. That's still smoldering.
Filming gets especially hard.
Yeah, I've had to put out every single fire, so I didn't bother getting that one. We're leaving now. There's no reason to get that to be sustainable, but I had flames, and that's all that matters. So, all right. Anything else, Nick?
Do you remember the compass? We're leaving. Let's hope you have a compass.
I didn't bring a compass. I thought you did.
Well, SOS to everyone out there watching, we are lost.
All right.
And we don't have a percolator, so we can't make coffee.
That's right.
It's a very sad day.
Until the next one, we shall see you in the next one.
See you later.
See you. And I figure I wanted to do a little segment here at the end of the video because of what happened with the Fatwood. And because I figure I'll get 50 or 60 comments commenting, "Ooh, that ain't Fatwood," or "Ooh, that should have been easier," or "Ooh, you don't know what you were doing." Yeah. Complain. Ain't that right, Nick?
Sorry, oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I know what Fatwood is. And what Fatwood is when a pine tree dies, the heartwood and the knots, the rosin, doesn't seem to go away. The outer wood, what they call, I guess, I don't know, maybe it's called the sapwood. I don't know. There's a heartwood and a sapwood, but the outer wood rots away. And the inner wood, that rosinous core collects, and it creates heartwood. Now, I have a huge collection of heartwood. Anytime I find it, I try to keep it, okay? Now, when we go to making these videos here, what we do is we try our best to, not really scout around and hunt out and seek out the best things. I try to find what I can on the spot. So, but I do have, whenever I do find it, I try to gather it up. Now this stuff here, the more orange it is and the more sticky it is, the better off it is. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to try to see if I can, I'm going to baton off a little piece of this. Now, like I said, I keep a collection of this. Let's see if I can baton a little piece off right here. We'll put this on here. Let's just tap this through. Alright. And what we're going to do now, because I don't want to waste too much of this, we're going to use this piece right here. And let's see. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this in half. Yeah, because I don't want to waste a whole lot of it. Now that is a perfect example right below my finger. See how dark, it's almost burgundy? That is just some incredible stuff. Now, good Fatwood, I'm going to curl this up just a little bit. Now, good Fatwood, when it burns black. It'll put off a black smoke. So that's how you can tell. Now, I've peeled back some layers so that you can see even more of the color. Can you see that, Nick?
Yeah.
Alright, now what I want to do is I want to show you what it looks like as it burns. Okay. And this stuff is just good Fatwood. It's just super flammable. Now, do you see the black smoke coming off of it?
Yeah.
It's almost like when you were burning. It's almost like when you were burning an oil. Can you see the black smoke there, or does it need to be against the building? Here, hold it. Go right over here. Aim it right here against the building. See how the smoke is black?
It's over there. Yeah, now we see it.
Okay. Now, see, that's because what it's doing is it's almost like an oil fire. And that's how you tell really good Fatwood. Alright? So, it's found over here, Nick. Ooh, it's really getting black now.
So would you say, you know, when you're driving down the road and you see just a black smoke fire, burning off in the distance.
Well, that's like, say, a house fire.
Say that's like a down tree with a lot of fatwood burning.
That is possible, but most forest fires I don't think are that color, unless it's the they need to tighten their belts up.
Yeah, that was distracting me while I was trying to ask
Yeah.
that question.
Unless it's like, say, if it's greenwood, you know, that there's certain greenwoods that might could. But that's like why a house fire puts off black, because of all of the petroleum products in it, all the plastics and the plastic in the wirings and the plastics in the furniture and the vinyl and everything, that'll put off like a black smoke. Now, another thing, when we're talking about Fatwood, okay, Fatwood's some good stuff. We all know what it is. Kind of smells like pine saw. It's got a deep orange, burgundy, brownish looking color. If you can find it, it'll be in stumps or knots. If the pine tree just falls over, that heartwood hasn't had a chance to rot and concentrate the resins enough into Fatwood. And I think what I found on that video, the tree was dead and knocked over, but it hadn't had a chance to rot yet, so it wasn't real good stuff. Now, another thing I want to talk about is some of these resins that collect. Now, this is the best example I have ever seen, and I really want to share it with you. Now, see this right here? If a tree gets broken in half, and now this has got some Fatwood under it, but the resins have collected on it. Now, these resins here, what they do is they protect the tree for if it's ever like cracked or had lightning on it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a little piece of this off to show you. Okay, now this is some of that resin type stuff. Alright, now I'm going to set this over here to the side. Now this is a piece of a tree that was cut out, that was struck by lightning, and the other half of the tree stayed up. Now, before I show you this, sometimes what I'll do is I'll carry a little container around my neck, and as I'm finding this resin and collecting it, I will put it in here and use it for emergency fire starter. Because that is some good stuff right there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you this resin right here, how fantastic this stuff is. Now see, this is just pure resin that has dripped out of the tree to protect it. There's no Fatwood in this, but this is some really good stuff. If I can get it to light. That lighter wasn't worth a hoot. Flame wasn't high enough and it kept going out, so let's try a match right here now. Hopefully the wind won't put it out. I'm going to let this match catch on just a little bit so that you can see what this resinous stuff here will do. You can hear it popping and sizzling. Look at that, the wind's blowing the match out. Alright, so what this resin is doing here, and it's actually turning into a liquid. Now see, that's another thing. If you ever find that resin coming out, here, can you hear it popping?
Yeah.
See, it's actually turning into a liquid. Now see the liquid, can you see it clearly on the camera?
Yeah.
You hear that?
It's just like wax.
It is just like wax. The stuff's amazing. It's like a liquid fuel. See right there? Now it's putting off, it was putting off a black smoke too. This stuff burns faster than the Fatwood. It's putting off a black smoke. See, can you see the black smoke it's putting off?
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like as if you were burning like a motor oil fire. So anyway, you see it's still burning, and it looks like it's soaking in. Look at that, it ain't even going out. Alright, Nick, anything you want to add?
Don't inhale this, because
yeah, don't inhale
it's
it.
no good like the Fatwood.
It's definitely putting off some black stuff right there. But
It
anyway.
does not smell good.
No, it doesn't. Alright, look for anything like that. Fatwoods and resinous woods that'll put off like a black smoke, and you'll know it's a good, rich, resinous type of fire starter.
Looks like it's got this little part of this chopping block burning for a while.
I know it does. I'm going to have to put it out. I don't want to burn my chopping block.
Oh, wait.
What?
There's more black smoke coming off.
I know. It is.
It looks like it's all burned off, but I mean, it's more
well,
black smoke
as
now.
long as there's black smoke coming off, it's burning. All right, let's wrap this up. And we shall see you in the next one.
See you later.
A little bit of air will do it every time.